I'll be honest, this is the second week in a row that I've enjoyed Beverly Hills. I haven't had a 2 episode streak in a very long time. So I'm pretty happy.
I've been trying to play the game of who do we blame or who do we credit for actually giving us enjoyable times on Beverly Hills. And I'm still working through it. I feel like this is going to be cathartic.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be
Oh
a
man,
home
it's
run.
8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Beverly Goots. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. We were hoodwinked. I thought that we were supposed to get some Potomac today and did not realize because I was watching the Super Bowl that they didn't go against the Super Bowl last night. So the Karen interview makes way more sense to me now that they aired that first and then did a little break in between. And then they'll do the reunion starting next week. But don't worry because we've got Beverly Hills to talk about. And don't worry times two, although maybe you should, depending on how you feel about it. All these reports are coming out that Amanda apparently stopped filming and is no longer on the show. And I don't know what to make of it because we usually don't run with rumors. And that's actually one of the biggest things that I despise about the Bravo world is all these people online, all these people on Twitter that just put shit out there. A lot of people got duped last week because somebody made up a fake Meredith Marks exit thing on that she posted on Instagram. She never posted it.
It's so
Meredith
stupid.
hasn't gone anywhere. And people buy it. And then when they buy it, they then repost it. And then more people get it. So it's just an absolute nightmare. I do think that this rumor has some legs. I think that this might be substantiated at some point. We'll be able to tell at least with this season. But Bravo never confirmed it. Amanda hasn't confirmed it. Nobody on the cast has confirmed it. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it because, like I said in the intro, or I guess in the intro, I don't know who to credit for this season being better, or at least these 2 episodes being better. It's partially Amanda because she's causing a frenzy, like we talked about.
But no.
But I do think I don't know. It might be Rachel. It might be Rachel. Maybe it might just be that other people are in better spots. Dorit was funny as shit this episode, and
great.
I don't really think that she was intentionally funny, but she's great. So I don't really know who to give the credit to.
I'll get into it once we get a little further into this episode. It's funny you said that because I actually wrote something down, which is why I'm going to wait until we get there. To your exact point of what's going on, who do we credit with this? And it's a multifaceted answer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what it is, everybody. Multifaceted. But when we get there, I will happily discuss my theory on the topic. I agree with you. Dorit was great, but that makes me nervous because in years past, when Dorit has hit a hot streak, very quickly after everything plummeted. So I'm trying not to do that. I think we have to watch this show and just be happy when we get good episodes, especially 2 in a row. So I'm in a good mood. I watched this and I was enthralled in the beginning, which is great. Like we pick up where we left off last week, and that's at the dinner right after we get the term quote unquote verbally accosted from Amanda, which is a wild statement. And did you get the crystal coated? Because I sure did. It's like that.
Yeah.
That's how I experienced it. That's I'm like, dude, we stopped doing this. We don't do this anymore.
We did that on multiple shows throughout 1 year, and it hasn't come back. It has not reared its ugly head. We're not doing any of this. This was, I feel like, the most productive and matter-of-fact type of conversation with expectations of what you're going to experience on a show like this. Like it was very close to a fourth wall break, but it really wasn't. And you have very normal people chiming in, like Bose, like even Sutton and Erica, just kind of going to their confessionals and thinking about things, like the reactions. This is what you experience on a Housewives show. And this is very tame, as we've been saying for weeks. And you do have to kind of figure out how, if you're a newbie, how you're going to take it. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be able to move forward? Are you going to get bogged down by it and talk about it for 7-8 weeks like Angel's doing on Potomac? It just depends on what you're going to do. Once you bring up, this is my experience, and I feel like you verbally accosted me, you're done. Like you're cooked at this point.
Yeah, I'm out when you say that because that's not a valid response. If you're going to sway us, the audience, into thinking that you were verbally accosted, I need evidence. I need receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. I need
We don't do that anymore.
I,
Yeah,
will
no.
do that forever.
I
But
know, but I'll never
she's
do
in
it again.
timeout. I know she's in timeout for right now, but it drove me nuts. Like for so many reasons. One, the way that Dorit came at you, quote unquote, I wouldn't even say came at you. I would say asked you a question, inquired about something. That's what I saw. And I love that they keep replaying the clip of it to back Dorit up because it's like, dude, what do you mean verbally accosted? What I was not prepared for is to throw Kyle into the mix. Well, I just agree with Kyle. I was like, oh, interesting.
I
How is
liked
this going to
that.
go? I did
Yeah.
too. It was a good deflection. Like I
I
was
like
impressed actually.
I like that the rest of the women a little bit later in the episode are like, I wasn't expecting Kyle to get thrown into it and then doing all this. And I'm like, no, actually, that was a pretty good move by
Solid.
Amanda. That was a very solid move because the way you're handling it, nothing's going to get accomplished. We're not going to go anywhere. We're actually going to despise you. But this way, at least it gets some of the heat off of you. The way Dorit's moving, yes, she will come back to you at some point, but you know that that's a sore spot. You know that that's an easy move to just try to deviate some of the issue over to Kyle. And it's true too. It's not like a weird, unfounded conversation that you guys had where, you know, words weren't really exchanged, but you kind of picked up on the vibe that Kyle was siding with you over Dorit. It wasn't anything like that because we roll the footage. There we go. Kyle's the one who brought it up. Kyle's the one who's talking to Amanda about it. And Kyle didn't have any issues. And this is something that we've talked about with Kyle over and over again. She doesn't seem to, she's a friend to all is a friend to nobody. That's kind of where she is. This was a little bit more strange of an episode because I don't understand how she finds herself on Amanda's side so much.
It was so dumb.
But by doing this, at the very least, if you're Amanda, it might allow you some time to kind of like gather your thoughts because where you are right now, you're just in quicksand, completely floundering. You might not feel like you are because you've tricked yourself after getting out of that cult and also running the Money Queen business. You have this confidence where you feel like you're never actually drowning. We're watching you. You are floundering, lady. You have nothing good to say. You've got nothing good to come back at Dorit, who's full of confidence right now. She is not afraid of you. By deflecting over to Kyle and doing it in a good way, this gives you some time to think. And it also puts Kyle on the spotlight, which is what we want.
Correct. It was a good move. I mean, granted, she's still face down in the shallow end. Like this is not a good recovery for her at all, but she had the opportunity to recover because of this deflection. And it puts Kyle in the hot seat, like you said. So, Kyle, what do you have to say? In my head, I'm like, all right, we've done this for 3 years, give or take. Like, there's no way that Kyle hasn't figured it out by now, that all Dorit wants is for her to just say nothing or just be like, yeah, I get it, Dorit. But no, instead, I was surprised. Like, we know Kyle doesn't really like Amanda, which just tells me that this is 100% just a vendetta against Dorit. You just have this thing with Dorit that you want to knock her down. You want to keep her over here. And I'll never understand it because it's so much easier to just keep her right up next to you and she'll be nice to you. This made no sense when she's like doubling down for Amanda. Like, well, yeah, you know, like you really shouldn't be saying this. That's all I said. It's because I care about you, Dorit. You can't keep using it's because I care about you. I'm doing this for your own good, Dorit, because it doesn't make sense. Nothing you're doing is helping Dorit. We've listened to this same conversation for years now. And now instead of taking this opportunity to potentially be like, you know what, Dorit, vent away. You side with Amanda?
Well, and I do think that the weird thing is the way that this friendship is growing between Kyle and Amanda is all because Amanda is somehow validating where Kyle's position is on Dorit and PK.
But
when
that's
she's
not
talking
good.
about no, that's not good. No, it's definitely not good. But we've said this for what, 2 seasons now, a season and a half. Kyle needs to just completely butt out. Erica says it in her confessional right now. Unless you completely remove yourself from the situation, you are never going to be out of this. And this is a bad place for you to be in the middle of their divorce. For what reason? Because you feel like she's being mean to PK because you're hearing things from Mo that's coming from PK, that's coming from Dorit. That doesn't really substantiate any of this behavior. No. I don't understand what you're doing. But when Kyle talks to Amanda, Amanda goes, look, I get it. You don't want her to badmouth the father of her kids. And that's all she's doing. And you just want to be able to step in there and say, look, I'm doing this for your own good. I'm protecting you because you said that last year. And we got that little thing from the reunion last year where PK writes in a letter saying that's the one thing that he had issue with was Dorit talking about him being a bad father. So
then
she doesn't want you to do
father.
the same thing. Yeah, for sure. But for Kyle, all Amanda's saying is, I get it. You're right. Like, you don't want her to talk bad about PK because it's going to end up reflecting back at Dorit, and then she's going to be in a worse spot because she's openly talking about PK. I know what you're doing, Kyle. That was enough for Kyle to say, one, you get me. We could be friends. And two, I've actually got a little confidence in this argument right now. How dare you come after me, Dorit? All I'm doing is just saying what everybody's thinking. No one else is thinking that.
No.
You're the only one. You're out on this island. Amanda might be gaslighting you right now. I don't know what Amanda's doing necessarily, but she might be gaslighting you into being on her team so that now she's got somebody for a little bit of backup against Dorit.
I don't even think it's gaslighting. I don't know what you would call it, but I think she's brown nosing because she's trying to get close to Kyle Richards. That's what I think. But this was a crazy move because she goes to defend Amanda's stance. Amanda gets emboldened, so she starts questioning Dorit again, going after her. She says the word aggressive 30 times, 40 maybe. Nothing I saw was aggressive. Nothing anyone else there saw was aggressive. Roll the tape another time. Thanks, Bravo. Not aggressive. So when she tries to explain to Dorit, this is what I would have preferred. You could have just came up and asked me a question about it. Like, hey, I heard you had some thoughts. That's not how it works when you're talking behind somebody's back. You're talking shit about a stranger. She's going to check you. Also, I am convinced she has never watched a Housewives show in her entire life because the complete and utter inability to understand that that's how this show works. It's other women getting overly involved in your personal shit. That's what happens. And you're not even allowing that to happen. And then when it does happen, you're saying it was too aggressive. You can't handle it. I was awake every 30 minutes, meaning it was a physiological attack. Bruh, stop it. Stop reading trigger words on the internet and spouting them off in here. This is insanity. And you're giving millennials a bad name. This is why people think that we're stupid.
She couldn't sleep the entire night because she cried at a dinner party. Again, it wasn't that bad. You made it bad by like immediately perpetuating it and saying that Dorit was going after you while you were in a vulnerable place because it was the anniversary of your son's death. Something Dorit didn't know. You told Dorit. Dorit, I think, did a good job in stepping back a little bit and saying, I do think we should have a conversation about it because you've upset me, but I won't do it now as you've given me this new information that today is a bad day to do that. Fair, completely fair, not aggressive, not a physiological attack by any means, but it still made Amanda cry. And I still don't know why Amanda cried about it because she wasn't really going after her. If you're going to cry over that and you're going to lose sleep over that, like you say you are, you don't belong here. You're not going to be able to hang. And we do think that Beverly Hills in particular has been pretty stagnant. We haven't really had any bad fights. The only fights of recent memory that I can think of are Kyle and Dorit, which nothing's ever going to happen there. And then everything involving Sutton. And Sutton is a complete anomaly because she doesn't react or do things the way that anybody else really does. So to hear that this is how that affected you, you're in the wrong game. You're not going to be able to handle this. I think she's lying, obviously. I don't think that it was that bad. I don't think she actually lost sleep over it. I think she's trying to make Dorit feel bad or trying to garner some sympathy from the other women in the crew. You're not going to, because immediately everyone is blown away. Bose just pops off immediately. Whoa, what are we talking about here? Physiological attack. You've got to be fucking kidding me. That's the appropriate response. And this is what we've been waiting for from these women in particular, because they have been boring. They have been sitting back at these dinner tables and just allowing two people to go after each other. Maybe a third or a fourth gets brought in, but it's not really ever that bad. This was enough to get everybody pretty much involved. I mean, Tilly's at the other end of the table asking to be involved. She wants to move over and sit
she's
down
walking
so
around
she
the
can
table.
hear. Kathy's on the other end completely out of it. Who cares? Sutton doesn't really want to be involved, but she's making faces and she's looking at Dorit like, what the fuck's going on? Eric is getting involved because she's trying to stop Kyle just to get her to understand this is not the way to go about this. Bose is just blown away by Amanda's stupidity, much like all of us are. And it's very funny because it got everybody involved. And that's why I keep coming back to it. I'm not going to credit Amanda with fucking anything, but without Amanda here, would we get this? I don't think we would.
I'll give her due credit on that one. Like, there's a couple things that she does where it's like, all right, I'll give you credit. It's not what you're intending to do. But it's working. So I'll give you credit there. But
it's her presence is a present, honestly.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly. And with the Kyle Dorit stuff, like, I really was hoping that Kyle finally got to a place to just be like, I'm out. Like, you know what? You're right. Like, I'm just gonna butt out of this one. But no, because then she's telling her, it's like, well, you do have some strong words. You remember that one day and you said like some pretty crazy things. And she's like, what did I say? Well, I don't really remember. I love that Dorit clocked this. Don't do that then, because now you're putting that out there, but you don't have any evidence to back it up. Don't do that. Just don't talk. Loved that we've never seen Dorit check Kyle for what she's actually doing, to actually just flat out say, hey, you're perpetuating this right now. Stop, please. Like, what the hell's the matter with you? But the craziest thing to me, Rachel jumps in. I'm crediting Rachel with the success of this show. And here's why. What Rachel Zoe is doing is reminding, and even by explaining it so black and white, she's reminding of everybody at this table. This is what we do on these shows, everybody. This is normal. By the way, we should be able to sit around at this table and vent and feel not judged by our friends. We're all going through some shit. So if I can't vent here without the fear of you judging me and talking behind my back, where the fuck can I? But what she has done with that conversation, with conversations elsewhere, with talking about how Amanda needs to grow the fuck up, Rachel and Amanda are both the reason why this show is doing well, for two very different reasons. Rachel's reminding the other housewives on this show what being a housewife means, what you're supposed to do, how you act, how you discuss things, how you break down someone else's bullshit. Like, she's literally explaining the rules again. And I love that she's doing it like that. On the flip side, Amanda is so annoying and immature that she's reigniting the flame of a housewife in everybody else, because they're like, wait, we all have to collectively drag this person, right? They're subconsciously remembering, oh, wait, when people do stupid shit, we react, then we break it down, then we have conversations about it, then we attack. Boom. It's all like lining up again in the weirdest way possible and so unintentionally. But I credit Rachel with most of it, because she is just doing a wonderful job, and she is the quintessential housewife right now in all the best ways. Amanda, she gets credit because you got a common enemy, and everyone's remembering what you're supposed to do when you have a common enemy on one of these shows. Go get her.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Amanda is the equivalent of throwing red paint on something when there's a bull race.
Yes.
That's exactly what you want. These bulls are just kind of milling around right now. They don't know what's going on. Oh, red paint. Let's go after that. That's all Amanda's doing. Again, that's why I don't really want to credit her for anything, because her existence is enough to bring some of these women back into the fold. And it's funny too, watching around the table, people are still like a little hesitant to jump in. Like Sutton doesn't say a word, which we talk about a little bit later, and it doesn't amount to much of anything anyway. But Eric is getting involved, and she's like, I can't believe that this is what we're doing at this point. I can't believe that Kyle is somehow involved in this because of Amanda. It doesn't make any logical sense. If you're able to be so crazy and so off the wall that you've got all these women riled up, and for some reason you've got maybe the marquee housewife of this franchise on your side, that is a wild situation to be in that I never would have expected. I really did think it was going to be Amanda versus everybody. Kyle was going to play Switzerland, of course. Kyle's involved. Kyle is actively involved in defending Amanda and also defending herself when Amanda brings her into it. I never in a million years would have seen that. Rachel gives some levity to the situation, like you said. I mean, she's going through a divorce. She just filed for divorce that morning, as far as I'm concerned. So now she actually gets to do this, and it brings everything kind of back in, because we've said that for a while. It's bizarre that Kyle and Dorit can't just find some sort of similar ground going through a divorce at the same time. How are you not a shoulder to lay on, or a shoulder to lean on, or whatever it might be? How are you not doing any of these things? What the fuck is going on between the two of you? Eric has gone through a divorce. Sutton is also doing that. That's kind of her storyline right now with the annulment. So there's enough going on where you would imagine there's some similarities that you guys can discuss and maybe find some common ground and lend some support out there. And instead, we're seeing butting heads, which is fine for a housewife show. I'm cool with that. But we do need to ignite the fire, and somehow Amanda's become that fire.
And the reason that Kyle is having no success in relating to the other women going through it is because Kyle is in denial. That's what it amounts to. And that was laid out pretty well in this episode by Dorit, actually. She has this idea about her divorce and marriage, that it's somehow not the same as everybody else's because it's not contentious. But it's not contentious, in my opinion, because there's still a big part of you that wants to get back with Mo. Because of that, you're playing nice with everything. He's done plenty that you could have had an uproar about. Like, he's not, especially early on, but you just hold him to a different standard than some of these other women hold their exes to. And that's fine. I'm not telling you how to get divorced. And if they're cool, like, cool. But at the same time, just because you're experiencing one thing, as Dorit explains, does not mean that what they're going through isn't valid. And that's all Dorit is trying to get through to her. But it's tough, especially when you have Amanda over here being a child. And I love that we finally got somebody to speak up about it. Bose is like, what are you talking about? She's like, you can't be in charge of how people respond. That's a very adult thing to understand. I was like, hell yes. Oh, that hit so good. That hit so damn good. Keep going. Keep going. You can't set boundaries of how people speak to you. That's crazy. How are you going to enforce that? I think we've gotten to the point where everyone understands Amanda speaks in hyperbole. She's infallible in her own mind. And what she says is correct. Because of that, it's working out really nicely in these scenes because everyone else just gets to talk. Like, she's not able to combat back. So you get these great lines such as pretty much grow up, Peter Pan. Like, what are we talking about here? You're dictating how everyone's going to react. That's insane. That's not how the world works, hun. And like, they literally give her a lesson on the real world. And even so, she's still sitting there. She's like, well, in 40 years of my life, I've never left a dinner party crying. Well, you left crying because you're too sensitive. Like, that's all I can see, because I'm not equating that to the anniversary of her son's passing, obviously. But you used that in that moment because in this moment, you then say, even if it hadn't been the anniversary, I would be equally upset. Well, that doesn't make any sense because Dorit asked you a question. I think you got caught for talking shit and you don't know how to handle it because you're not used to people questioning you, Money Queen. This group does not care. And that's what I love, because we're getting back to a place on this show, at least for now. Remember, everybody, just live in the moment. It's fun right now. We're remembering how to go after people in a fun way, in a group way, not by piling on, but just a funny, like, you guys are clocking this too, right? You get that subconscious connection throughout the table of everyone on the same page and everyone taking their little digs here and there and just trying to be funny and light.
Well, that's the only way to
great.
do it too, because when you see that, no one's really speaking up. And honestly, going into this dinner party, we haven't had an entire scene where everybody's kind of on the same page. Everybody understands what's going on, and you can still see there's so many people at that table. They're like, should I say something? Should I jump in? Like,
I
Sutton
know.
again didn't say a word this entire dinner. She's still not sure if she should jump
She
in.
did. She
Eventually,
turned to
you
the
will.
side and just said,
Yeah.
what she said wasn't that bad. I'm like, say that louder.
Yeah, like, get involved. This is what you're supposed to be doing as a housewife, especially at a dinner party. And finally, the funniest way possible to really tie a fucking bow on this whole party. What do you mean this is the worst thing that you've ever, which is not what she said at all, but it's still funny. What do you mean this is the worst thing you've ever had to endure in your life? Weren't you in a fucking cult? That was so funny
So
that
good.
Dorit just blasted that out. And Amanda handled it okay, especially for somebody who's crying and saying, I'm very sensitive, and I can't believe you brought that up on this day of all days. For that to come out, Amanda's like, well, I own everything. Like, yes, I was in a cult. Anything you want to know about this, I'll tell you anything about it. But no, this was the worst thing that I've been through at a dinner table. I've never walked away from a dinner party crying in my 40 years. The cult has nothing to do with this. Now, in her own mind, she's like, oh, I've got to read exactly where I want her. She's just spitting and she's got all this dirt on me. She doesn't have dirt on you. Anybody who goes to your website for 30 seconds realizes what kind of person you are. You read one article, you have an idea of who this is. She's not digging for dirt. These aren't rumors that she's pulling out of her DMs. She's reading something on your website. And that is a fair assessment to be like, wait a minute, hold on. You've never cried at a dinner party before, and that was traumatic enough for you to wake up every 30 minutes. You were in a cult and
It's
you broke
valid.
away from the cult. What do you mean? Like, this is apples and oranges. I feel like that would be way worse, right? No? Okay, because you own the cult and that's part of your brand and your imaging. You're okay with that because you've made peace, but you can't make peace with the fact that you were talking behind my back to somebody else and I clocked you for it. What are we doing here? I don't really understand any of this. No one, and I'm so happy that nobody was like, all right, Dorit. Like, I think Erica
like kind of says like,
Dorit, come on, like, maybe let's not do this. But I think it was completely fair because you're not getting anything out of this woman. So use something personal that goes after her to try to put some perspective on it. And that's all she was really trying to do. It was very funny. I'm glad that she pulled that out because it's the funniest thing Dorit's done in a while, pretty much since the cigarette last year. It was great. It was great timing. And Amanda thinks that she's winning because now she feels like she's just dropped down to this low class level. And Amanda's so high up. And she's like, I'm not getting down in the dirt with her. I'm not going to bring anything up. It's like, you already did. You're talking about this woman's divorce and you know nothing about her behind her back. And when it gets brought up in front of everybody else, you can't answer and you start crying. You can't handle this. I don't know where this confidence is coming from, but you really can't.
She's trying to fake it till she makes it, but clearly that doesn't work out if she's not going to finish the season. But I would love to see from this, because Rachel obviously starts to get more and more upset and then ends up actually crying. And she's not sad. And I didn't think she was about the divorce. Like, she's not like, oh my God, I miss my ex. It's more so just the pile on. She's got a lot of shit going on. She woke up to
the
this breaking
scale
in
of
Big
everything.
Six.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, she explains that really well. I make 100 decisions a day. This is just, it's too much. It's too much right now. And I need a minute. Totally get that. And you take your minute. But here's what I'm curious about, because it didn't come up in this episode and I thought it might come back. But when Rachel explains her stance on the Dorit PK thing, which I thought was great, when she explains like, hey, can we just support somebody that's going through this shit? Like, they just need an ear so you can just get it all out. Like, it made complete sense to me. But because Dorit asked Kyle, well, did you understand what she was saying? No, that didn't land with me. But that was so cut and dry to me, of just simply explaining how to be a good friend. And maybe it's more eye-opening than I thought. Maybe that lands even more so if you're watching it and be like, oh, maybe you just don't know how to be a good friend. Maybe that's what that tells me. But I'm curious if Rachel's going to clock that at some point and come back to that, where she pretty much just dissed everything you said, not in like a overly dissing kind of way, but she's telling you that what you said doesn't really carry any weight. And you said a lot. And that's something that you, Rachel, also want from this group, as you tell Dorit and Bose as you guys split away from the table. So that line from Kyle was kind of glossed over. No, that didn't land with me. I want to come back to that as a group. I want somebody to lock on to that down the road and be like, well, you don't even know how to be a friend, because boop, and drop that one back in there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that Dorit probably heard it, but didn't really have the time for it because she was walking away. Erica was still there, but it was Erica's birthday, and we ruined the birthday girl's dinner, which she was very upset about. Sorry, Erica. It's okay. You looked cute. You had a great night. Just not a great dinner. These things tend to happen. But I do like that you get this good meat sitting outside where they're hanging out and they're at least there for Rachel. And again, like you said, Rachel works through this, and it's not about the divorce. It's about all the other things that are going on in her life, and the fact that the press is going to get a handle on this. And she already got a taste of that with Page 6 immediately coming out that morning, a couple hours after she had just done the filing of the divorce. So there's a lot going on, and she's worried it's going to get a lot worse. And she wanted to have a hot girl summer, and who doesn't want to have a hot girl summer after divorcing your separated husband that you've been separated from for years? But at the same time, it gives me some hope, because I do like, and we liked this originally with Bose and Dorit. It seemed like we were getting more out of Dorit. Bose kind of just cleared away to the back. She's got things going on, which we'll get into a little bit later, but she kind of just cleared away for the second half of last season and just went away entirely. But I liked Bose and Dorit when they were able to at least talk to somebody else in the group. And Rachel seems like she can get along with anybody in the group, honestly. So that's what I want to see more of. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, where there's actually some camaraderie. It just seems like it's people that you're filming with. It's your filming partners. But this seemed like a lot more. And it's something that I want to at least circle back to, because if this blossoms into a beautiful friendship, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think that's something, I couldn't put my finger on it, but that is something that's coming back, is camaraderie. You're 100% correct. And it is nice to see. It's nice to sit at that table with those three and them genuinely feel like they want to be sitting at that table with the other two. Like, there's so many times where we get scenes and it's like, no, nobody wants to be here right now. This felt like three friends decompressing after a tough dinner. And I was so happy to just see them coexist and talk. It was such like a normal scene, but at the same time, it carried so much more than that. And I think you do see a trio right here that can get along really, really well, because Rachel, very level-headed. She can get along with anybody. Bose, super smart. loyal to a fault, I would imagine. If you're in with Bose, I imagine she's got your back for life. And Dorit, the wild card, you don't really know. But if you get these three together and then the rest of the group is looking, this is a formidable threesome that they can stand toe to toe with the other ladies in the group. And I think that other people in the group will want to gravitate towards those three because they're going to be having fun, not getting stuck on mundane bullshit year in and year out. People are going to want to hang out with those three. I could definitely see Sutton crossing the line, going over towards them.
That's who I was just going to say no to because I think the Kyle of it all is going to ruin all of that. Like, I do think in some ways Erica can cross the line, but Erica's a good like middler. She'll just bounce back and forth. Nobody really has a problem with her unless she speaks up a little too much, but she hasn't been doing that recently. It's the Kyle situation that really comes down to it because I do like these three against Kyle. I don't think that it's really going to matter if they're against Sutton or, Erica or whoever. I do like these three. And the main thing is they need to be able to stand up to Kyle and they need to actually get something out of Kyle because we've seen Kyle before. She'll just stick her feet in the sand. She won't go anywhere. And no matter what anybody says, it never really seems to matter because they either move on or she's got enough support where it never really lands. But right now, what we're seeing is at the very least, like I said, Sutton's not going to leave Kyle's side, but Sutton might not also speak up. And if Kyle's there and she has to take on the brunt of this and it's a well-organized group, we might finally get something out of Kyle. And we've been getting more out of Kyle personally, but within the group, we never get shit out of Kyle because she just doesn't change. She never takes accountability for the things that she's done. So if we get that, these three will probably be the ones to welcome in.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited to see where this friendship trio goes. And to your point, Kyle's big thing with Dorit talking to Erica after the dust settles, and Erica's like, dude, let it go. Let it go. Like, you got to stop getting in the middle of this thing. You're going to stay there. Like, it's going to get worse. She's totally correct. And we've been saying that for weeks. But Kyle's response is, I need to see some change in Dorit. You're fucking kidding me, right?
No.
You're kidding me. Because Dorit has. She's still Dorit in so many ways, of course. But she's made some adjustments here and there. You haven't changed at all. You haven't even changed an iota. This conversation actually proves without a doubt that you haven't changed a lick. And that's not a Dorit problem. That's a you problem. And what we're going to see potentially with this group moving forward, you could see Kyle get left behind. Like, she'll always be Kyle Richards, of course, and she'll always be the mainstay. But as far as like who people want to watch, where's the fun, who's hanging out, they're going to want to watch Rachel and her friends because she's more relatable and she's fun. She's a lot of fun. They're not going to want to go hang out with you and watch you do the same shit you've done every single season for the past 4 or 5 years. It's not going to land, especially if you're palling around with Amanda. Like, that's crazy work, dude. The fact that she's hitched her wagon to the money queen makes no sense to me at all. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, I was even more so blown away towards the end of that episode too. Just watching like the groups that were forming. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing here?
I know.
But before we get back to the rest of our episode, I've got a few words from our friends over at Prolon. You've heard Steele talk about it. You've heard me talk about it. We love Prolon. Anytime that we're just desiring that little fast, that little reset, and it's time, it's the season, you're feeling a little bogged down, it's the midwinter, we hate it. I don't even want to go outside, but I know that I can rely on Prolon because their 5-day fasting mimicking diet works at the cellular level to reset and rejuvenate you from the inside out, which supports sustained fat loss, lean muscle, metabolism, slower aging, and even glowing skin. Can you imagine having glowing skin in the middle of the winter, especially as dismal of a winter that we've been having? And everybody sets those health goals. I know that maybe some of those New Year's resolutions and things like that have gone by the wayside, but your health goals should remain somewhat intact. And Prolon is here to help you guys out because no matter the season, when you're craving a real reset, Prolon is the only nutrition program that works for you. It's convenient, backed by Nobel-winning science, and it works. Ready for your own reset? For a limited time, Prolon is offering Broad Bros listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/bros. That's PROLONLIFE.com/bros to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/bros. Now we'll get back to the rest of our episode.
But the dinner wraps up, with a very sad blowing out of the birthday cake and candles. And my favorite moment arguably of the whole dinner is when they're walking out and Amanda's like, "Hey, Kyle, tennis tomorrow?" And Kyle's like,
I thought
I
that was
forget what
Sutton.
I was doing tomorrow."
I
Oh,
was trying
was
to
it?
figure out who that was too. I
I
think
thought
it
it
was
was
Sutton though.
Amanda. Oh, okay. Either one. That was a funny moment where
It's
it's like,
still
"Oh
funny, yeah.
shit, I have to do anything else. Sorry."
Yeah.
But
I can't remember what I have to do tomorrow.
definitely not
Something.
that.
Something, yeah.
It certainly isn't playing tennis with the likes of you, that's for sure.
No.
But we get to the next day, soft launch of Dorit's book.
Yeah, what a fucking edit that was. The production for that was hilarious. I'm like, at first I thought something was wrong with my headphones while I'm watching. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It sounds like when we get on to record and one of us has the wrong microphone and we're like, what's wrong with you? What's going
Yep.
on? I thought that something was screwed up on Peacock. It took me 2 sentences to realize what was going on. Oh boy. Now
Oh,
it's
boy.
time for me to write this book. And there's never a better time than right now to read. Yours, DK. What's her maiden name?
I don't know.
I want to know it. I wonder if she's still going to go by Kensley. Lamel.
Dorit Lamel works. That sounds like a writer.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a writer. Do you think that she's going to use a ghostwriter though?
God, I really hope she doesn't. Genuinely. I hope it's all Dorit.
I wonder if her life's interesting enough for a book.
I don't know. We don't really
Yeah,
know
I
a lot
that's,
about her like
kinda
past.
mean. Yeah, she's just gonna like. It's like when people say like the championship DVD starts here, and it's like when a team loses to somebody that they shouldn't have lost to. Do you think her
Yeah.
book's gonna start with the break-in? Like, let me set the record straight, and then she's got like 6 chapters about the break-in, and it's really just information that we already knew. Like it's not anything.
Or it's information we
groundbreaking
didn't
facts.
know. And she just outs PK for being the one behind it. Allegedly.
That would be awesome. Allegedly
But
awesome.
yeah, that scene cracked me up. 'Cause it was like I was watching a Hallmark movie of someone
Yeah.
traveling and like, I'm going to write my novel finally. And then
It was a
bang.
knockoff Sex in the City opening.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the farm or whatever this
Sure.
place is with Kyle and Jen, who's a friend and a personal assistant. Just had to
Mhm.
throw that one in there. But they're just doing more wedding stuff, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, Kyle, Mo.
Well, we find out that Mo is also a DJ. Mo
Right,
Mentis.
that's the big thing that we get from this. What are we doing, guys? Why are we all DJs now? This is crazy
it.
work. Like
I don't get it.
we don't need any more. Like we're
I
good.
saw like some clips yesterday because they had Bravo people out at the Super Bowl and Kyle Cook was out there and they were talking to him about like, what's your comfort zone? He's like behind the DJ desk. Like, oh God, dude, please enough. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like they should have closed the gates after Meredith got in. As soon as Meredith gets in, and I know that Kyle predates Meredith, so that's okay. I'll live with that. But just close the gates. No more Bravo celebrities as DJs. We can't handle it anymore.
No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. But I can talk about Rachel and Kathy. I actually do like this friendship. It's random, but it works. And they're sitting down getting an IV drip, little magnesium, little something that starts with an N that I forget. But they're talking about the dinner. And I think this is really interesting because Rachel's obviously giving her stance where one, she feels like she's going to be judged based on what they're doing to Dorit. But more importantly, whether you agree or not, we should be out here holding Dorit, giving her some grace. She's saying this to Kyle's sister.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she's rallying support intentionally or unintentionally, but she's putting together a nice little group right now, getting on the same page of a very relatable idea of, hey, when we're going through something, can we just support each other? Like you can get a lot of support with that argument. And she's going straight to the one person that Kyle fears more than anybody, Kathy fucking Hilton.
Yeah, I really like this scene because it adds a little bit more to what we've been talking about for a while. Kathy, if you just kind of looked at it and you were watching that dinner scene, she wasn't involved. She clocked everything. She
She's
knows
paying
exactly
attention.
what's going on at all times. She's paying attention. And it gives me hope that at some point we're going to see that mask slip a little bit, which would be a very funny mask. Like this isn't some crazy conspiracy theory or anything that we're going to be like, oh my God, look at that.
No.
If anybody's going to be able to do it and get Kathy in a good capacity, it's going to be Rachel, because they do have a pre-existing friendship. They have a pre-existing work relationship. They've known each other for years. They seem to be very comfortable together. And we've seen this type of scene before over and over again. I think Sutton's been there. Kyle's been there. Eric has been there when Kathy's getting her IV drip. And it's just, how she stays Kathy fucking Hilton is, I got to get my IV drip, but you can come over and talk to me about whatever you want to talk about. So I really like this scene. Is that what it is? Did you just look it up?
No, that's that crazy thing that they say, like the elite, like have this secret formula called it. Yeah, they get it from like babies, like, and they call it adrenochrome.
It's just stem
cells. I don't fucking know.
But either way, if somebody's going to be able to get Kathy out of her shell or whatever that faux shell is that she has on this show, it's going to be Rachel. And if Rachel's going to just talk to her, she knows how this works, and she's able to just bounce these ideas off of her. And we know with Kathy, she honestly never minces words when it comes to Kyle. We've never seen her once say, well, Kyle's going through a lot too. Nope. No, she's not going to say that. She's going to agree with Rachel. Yeah, you would imagine that everybody else would stand up and be like, wow, we're all going through similar things. Maybe we can give some perspective to help each other out. But no, you're never going to see that with this group. But at the very least, what it does is it gives Rachel the go-ahead, which is what I'm hopeful for. Gives her the go-ahead moving forward to use this, to stand on this as a leg and say, hey, what the fuck? Why are we doing this? Why do we have Amanda behind the scenes talking about Dorit's divorce? Why do we have Kyle, who's Dorit's friend, talking about Dorit's divorce and not supporting her entirely? Am I supposed to expect that when I'm going through my divorce? Because I'm a little scared right now. I don't know what to expect. We've been separated for a long time. Finally, we decided to go ahead and do this, and I filed for divorce. I want to have support, and I need to know who I'm going to come to. If she does it under that guise, I do think that you're going to be pretty successful in the show format and also in her life, because then she'll find out, like, yeah, Erica will step forward, Sutton will step forward, Dorit's going to step forward, Bose is going to step forward. Everybody who you can actually count on to have these good conversations with will step forward. And then you'll have Amanda and Kyle sitting over there, which again alienates them a little bit further. And if it's Amanda and Kyle versus the whole group, that might again push Kyle to a point that we haven't seen before, where we'll actually get something out of her.
That's interesting that you framed it that way. It's almost like Rachel was asking Kathy for her blessing. Like, can I run with this? And Kathy was like,
Godfather.
Yes, you may. Yes, you may. Go get her.
Pretty much.
Go get her, my liege. But we get a quick scene with Bose and Keely, and they're still on their fertility journey. We get a little update, and she had 2 embryos that they attempted to fertilize and see if they were viable to implant. And unfortunately, they didn't get past. There's a phase in like the 6th day. That's very important for them to be able to latch to the uterus, I believe. If I'm butchering that, I apologize. But they find out that that did not happen, unfortunately. So this was tough, man. I felt really bad, especially because it seems like now the doctor's making it pretty clear, like, it's not an ultimatum, but you now have a timeline. You got a year.
Yeah.
And after a year, like this is not even a viable process anymore. So that adds a whole different layer to it. I give Bose all the credit in the world. She's strong as shit. She goes off camera, obviously, to have a moment, composes herself, comes back to talk to the doctor. All in all, this is just one of those scenes where we're all rooting for you, Bose, rooting for you, Keely. We hope it all works out. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is, once again, this man, Keely, supportive as shit, and we love to see it.
Yeah, and you know what? You might be able to thank us, because we decided, after a very tough track record of saying that we love this man to about 3 or 4 different men that turned out to be assholes.
Yeah.
We didn't do that with Keely. We left Keely alone. We did not curse him. We just said, we'll wait and see, but he seems like a nice guy. Still a great guy. So I'm going to stop there. I don't want to continue.
We can't go too far.
I'm not going to gush. I'm not going to gush.
Yeah. Anytime we gush about a dude, they do something and then we fucking hate them. So yeah, we're not going to do that.
I just gush in private,
Yeah, we'll gush in private, dude.
Yeah,
but
sometimes
let's
together.
go to. Can't wait to gush with you later. Let's go to lunch with Dorit, Rachel, and Sutton. This is the scene that gave me a little more confidence that Sutton could potentially cross that line. I don't think she'll ever turn her back on Kyle. I think that's been made abundantly clear. But if we can just have her able to coexist amongst different groups, for Sutton, that would be a huge win. So
Yeah, no, I actually did not expect this conversation to go the way that it did because
Me
it
neither.
started off, it seems like Dorit was starting off pretty strong too. She used that type of word. She's, kind of going after Sutton a little bit. I had PTSD from seasons past, but it stopped. Like she genuinely just wanted to know, where were you? Because you're the one who gave me this information. This whole thing started with you. I got so scared because, again, it's not that I want to protect Sutton. It's that I know what happens when it starts to turn towards Sutton. It is not enjoyable television, so I didn't want to watch that. And instead, Dorit's just like, hey, as long as you still feel the same way and you're not turncoating because Kyle's on the other team, I'm okay. And we're able to move past that. And then we can continue the conversation. So that's good on Dorit. It's good on Sutton right away because you could see she got that look on her face like, what do you want me to say right now? I'll say anything to make this stop. I truly will. I still feel the same way. Whatever I brought to you, that is my general line of thinking here. Okay, cool. We're good. Let's move forward. I'm so happy it ended that way. I was so surprised, but I was still very scared that it was going to go a completely different route where all of a sudden Dorit's just bashing on Sutton because she feels like she's spineless or whatever the fuck she wants to say.
You missed one crucial part, which is why Dorit didn't go off, in my opinion. Because Sutton is backed into a corner and she's going, oh, fuck. What should I say? What should I? Well, you know what? You're very strong. You fight your own battles. Dorit's like, you're goddamn right I do. We're good.
Yeah.
Carry on. It's like,
But I feel like Sutton said stuff like that before and she still gets whacked. Like it doesn't really matter what she says. She still is held accountable for the things that she did or didn't say. So even that, I'm still giving Dorit the praise here. I know that, stroking her ego usually does work out pretty well. But for Sutton, who seemed to have been a trigger for Dorit in the past, I'm just happy that it's not. It seems like it's okay. So I don't have to worry about this moving forward.
Yeah, and all we really get from Sutton on top of that, and like what she was saying to keep Dorit on her side, was about Amanda. We're going back to that day. So, and this is important. This is a different time than when Kyle and Amanda had talked about it elsewhere. Because Kyle and Amanda talked about it when they went shopping together. This was when Sutton was present at a dinner or whatever. And she has an opinion on it. She is not prompted. She just says it. So that's different because Amanda's only argument is that she was agreeing with Kyle, that someone else was talking about it. I just had an opinion on it. That would make things ever so slightly different. You still shouldn't be talking about it. You don't know what you're talking about, but that is enough to try to have a defense. If you're offering opinions without people asking you, that's a different story. Now you're talking shit. You're talking shit behind Dorit's back. So multiple things happened that I really liked. I liked that Sutton brought that up, but the thing that I like the most is that Dorit is doing her due diligence now. She's asking 4 times, but she had an opinion. You're telling me that she had an opinion. She's making sure that the evidence tracks. So when she goes back to work, it's going to land. I love this. We've seen more out of Dorit as far as like setting up pieces this episode, making sure that things are lined up than we have in her entire tenure as a housewife. I don't know what clicked, and I don't want to jinx it, but she's starting to, like, we talk about it all the time. If you're going to go after somebody, whether you're on the defense or the offensive, it doesn't matter. You have to have contingency plans. Things will fall apart, and we see it happen all the time.
If you're going to play the Game of Thrones, you live or you die. I mean, that's really just how it goes. But for Dorit, obviously, it works out really well too because we've got the side-by-side scene going over to Kyle and Amanda, who are besties now. For Dorit in particular, I needed to see that because I needed to see that she wasn't spending any time at all worrying about the little cult comment that she made at the end. She's not going further down that road because, look, at the time, yes, I don't think that means that she's digging up dirt. But in the back of my brain, I'm like, she might be.
She's probably digging up dirt.
I do want to see. She's probably digging up dirt. And if I've seen somebody use dirt the wrong way, it's usually Dorit. It's usually a couple other people on this cast. But I was still a little worried that that's the path that she was going down. And she's not. She's staying on task, which is something that we always commend these people on. When you're talking about the same thing over and over, you're getting your facts straight. You're making sure that the source is correct. You're making sure that all of the context that you've been hearing is correct before you go back. Now, while I'm thinking, oh shit, is she digging? Is she going to start reading into Amanda a little bit more, bring something else up? Amanda's just going to deny it no matter what. It seems like that's what Amanda and Kyle think is going to happen too. That's a little last ditch effort, bringing up that cult comment. I know what she's doing. She's just my past, and don't worry, I'm ready for anything. And she's not. She's digging into your present. She's digging into last week when you made those comments. She's staying on point, and she's going to try to hold you accountable. Do I think it's going to work? Do I think that Amanda's actually capable of being accountable for something? Probably not. But that's not what we need right now. What we need is to show the rest of the group that she's not accountable. Because the way that these pieces are moving around, people can jump in. And that's what we need right now for that common enemy.
Yeah, and you got Rachel inquiring about things too. She's trying to figure out what's going on so that she can have a good offense, because she's asking, was it a loud opinion? Because she's acting like Dorit's the problem. I thought it was a bold move to punt to Kyle. And Rachel, like, again, so pragmatic in her approach with this whole thing. She's like, I mean, if that was me, I would have said, you know what? You're right. None of my business. I'll butt out. So this has clearly struck a nerve. And I don't think that Kyle intended to start a fire under Rachel's ass. And I think that's going to come back and bite her, because now, as we've talked about this episode, her big concern is that she's going to get judged for going through what she's going through. And if she has a moment, that's why she left the table, to have her moment, because she was afraid if she did it at the table, they were going to talk shit about her. So because of Kyle not thinking about that part of it, we now have an extra wrinkle in this whole thing. And Rachel has seemingly made it her mission to figure out who the fuck Amanda is. And I love that. I love that we have this little union right here between the most unlikely crew, Dorit, Rachel Zoe, and fucking Sutton, have now taken it upon themselves to dig. We're going to figure out what this chick's all about. Not the cult. That'll come out. Like, that's whatever. They're not talking about that shit. As you said, we're staying on task. We are in the present. We are moving forward. We're working together. Like, what show is this? This is not Beverly Hills.
Hell if I know.
This is.
And the other very important takeaway is obviously with Kyle, which makes no sense. And I'm saying to myself this entire scene, what are you doing, Kyle? Why are you aligning with somebody like Amanda? This doesn't make any sense even for you. But what it does is it gets us to, if you want to look at it this way, Kyle's the big bad boss. Amanda's a minion, but she's a means to an end. And if Kyle is stupid enough to take Amanda's side when they eventually do bring it back to Amanda, and we do actually get confirmed on the rumors that Amanda doesn't continue to film, it leaves Kyle alone on an island. And we've seen Kyle on an island before. Usually it doesn't go that well, but I've got higher hopes this time, and maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid. Who the hell knows? That's not a cult joke, Amanda. You can't get mad at that one. I'm drinking different Kool-Aid than whatever the hell you were drinking.
Drinking real Kool-Aid, not suicide Kool-Aid.
Yeah, not that shitty suicide Kool-Aid. But at the same time, it leaves Kyle open. Now, I do wonder if she's going to try to go back to Switzerland when she sees that people are going after Amanda. But I don't think, just based off of what we've seen from Amanda, I don't think she's going to let her get away, because Kyle's been supporting her. So she's going to turn to Kyle for support and ask. And then if Kyle doesn't support, then all of a sudden it's going to raise some questions. So no matter what, because of what Kyle's done up until this point, she's still going to have to answer questions. She's still involved, even if she's just complicit in Amanda's weird crimes. She's still involved at some level. So she's going to have to answer, or at least she's going to have to face some of the wrath.
It's just astounding. I'm with you. Like, I don't get it. When I'm sitting there listening to their conversation between Kyle and Amanda, I'm like, what are you doing right now? Like, why is this the stance you're going to take? Because one, Amanda just laid out to you, Kyle, how she threw you under the bus, but you're not understanding that. I don't know. It's not resonating with you. She's like, then all of her energy went to you, Kyle. Why? Because Amanda decided to toss your name into this whole thing. And instead of having a minute to be like, wait, don't do that, you jumped on Amanda's back and said, yeah, fuck you, Dorit. That makes no sense to me. That makes absolutely no sense to me. And listening to Amanda's defense, quote unquote, or like how she views the world, is just baffling. It's baffling. She's like, I thought I was being super vulnerable, and it was super vulnerable and authentic to say I'd never left the dinner party crying, that I woke up every 30 minutes. That's not vulnerable. You're trying to
sounds like you're lying.
Yeah, like this sounds like
this
bullshit.
Didn't happen.
Like, what are we? It's so weird. And there you go again, using words like vulnerable and authentic. I'm a big proponent of people being vulnerable. I think more dudes need to be vulnerable. Don't you take that word and bastardize it on whatever the fuck you're doing, because that's not what this is. It's borderline embarrassing to watch. Like, as a millennial, I get embarrassed when she's talking about certain, because I'm like, please stop. Please, for the
Yeah.
love of God, stop using the words that you're using. And Kyle, just a big, fat, what the fuck are we doing? What are you doing? This is
Big
nuts.
boo.
Boo. But the last thing I want to talk about, then we'll get to some questions, because I didn't know if there was more behind this. Dorit's talking, and her stance is similar to Kyle's. Until she can actually show up with some support, I can't continue to play this game. It's more of the same. But I have protected Kyle for years at all costs. Even when I felt the most betrayed and most hurt, I still protected her.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about there? Does she have a smoking gun? Does she have an ace up the sleeve? Not that it may not land. Like, we know how this goes a lot, but yeah, go.
I just think that's the way that she speaks. I
Okay.
don't really think that there's anything weird or nefarious or some rumor that's going to get somehow confirmed via Dorit because she's upset that Kyle hurt her or whatever like that. Maybe I'm just trained for Beverly Hills to not really put any eggs in any baskets for the show. I
That's
don't
fair.
think anything's going to come of it just because of what I've watched over the years, but I think that genuinely is just how Dorit talks. And I do think that whatever she's referring to is the shit that we already know.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, but I didn't know if it'd be one of those, potential haymakers that never lands. It's like, haha, well, I knew about this. And it's like, no
Yeah.
one cares. I wasn't sure because, yeah, my initial thought was, oh, that's just Dorit being Dorit. But then I was like, maybe there's more there. But I don't know. I hope the show continues on this trajectory, though. But let's get to some questions.
First up here, this isn't a question, but from Scarlet Medusa, Kyle speaks to Mo about Dorit and PK's separation to keep an open dialogue with him to stay close. We said that last week. That's exactly what she's doing. She's not really backing up PK. She's just being that, like, see, I'm cool. I can deal with this. Let me try to be the go-between, and I'll try to figure this out. Mo, do you want to team up and be on my team? Maybe then we could get married again. I don't know. This seems like a pretty good place out here on the farm. I love you. You love me. We're going to figure that out. And look, some of that is sad. I do feel bad even making jokes about it, but that is exactly what Kyle's doing.
From Joanne Beach, I can't. I'll listen to you guys, but done watching. Oh, no. We think that if you're going to watch, now's the time. Like, we don't know how long this will last.
It might only last another episode, so just watch these 3.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But... Oh, God. This is an important thing. From Out of Office Mama, how much more activated is Dorit going to be now that Rachel is on her quote-unquote side? That's a pitfall of Dorit, and we saw that last year when Bose came to her side. She was elated to have a friend. This does have a bit of a different feel to it. I don't see the same type of like fawning that she was doing over Bose last year, her doing that to Rachel this year. It's almost like she got used to it. Like, oh my God, I can have friends outside of Kyle and my husband, who's no longer my husband. Wow, this is crazy. Bose, I love you. We should move in together. That's what we got last year.
Yeah.
This year, it seems like she's way more confident within herself, not just that faux confidence that comes along with, wow, I've got Bose in my corner. I've never had somebody like that in my corner before. It seems like she's actually speaking up whatever's on her mind, and it's being met with good values and good behavior. So I think it's just kind of confidence it's building.
Yeah, and you're right to be wary. Like, it has all of the same potential pitfalls that we've seen, but for now it does feel ever so slightly different, and sometimes that's enough.
From Sarah Pilardi, Kyle truly hates Dorit, right?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I honestly, I think
she loves her, but I think she hates her.
Yeah, I don't think she hates her. I think she's annoyed by her, but I don't think that Kyle views. I don't know who's Kyle's real friends are at all. I do think that it's Kesha. That's who she wants her to be her best friend. But outside of that, I really don't know. Like, I don't think that she sees Dorit as a friend that she loves. I think she's just like, yeah, Dorit's good. We're on the same show together. We hang out here and there. We used to talk about things, but now that neither of us are married, we've got nothing to talk about. I don't really care. I think she really is just indifferent. I don't think it's a hate.
Yeah, I think, again, I go back to Rachel giving a great speech about what being a friend is, and Kyle, I don't resonate with any of that. Well, that's alarming.
Yeah.
Like, all she said was just be nice to your friends and like let them vent, and that doesn't land with you. Okay, well, I think we're getting a glimpse into why your relationships are so fucked up. But
yeah,
what do I know?
And the other comments are just
a lot of the same.
We'll end on this one. Amanda, Rocky's mom. Mauricio, a DJ? I can't. None of us really can. I don't want to deal with it. We're gonna see videos of him. I'm sure I'm actually surprised we haven't, given that Vale is in ski season, or Aspen rather.
Skeezing.
Skis, and yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen any videos of Mo up there. Maybe we haven't really clocked it because we've seen him with like Kyle Cook, and I think he was with Meredith at one point.
He was doing research.
Yeah, he's doing research. He's writing a book.
Oh boy. Oh man.
I'd rather them continue to write books than become DJs.
I would too. Actually,
books make sense, and I don't have to buy the book, and I don't really have to be subjected to excerpts from it, unless it was Sheena's book, which we were just blasted with all the time.
We got hit over the head with that damn book. We got tagged. Brock tagged us in an ad for their book that he did. It was like a story that he was talking, and we've never talked to this man in our life.
No,
and he tagged us in it. I think he invited us to be a collaborator. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Think again, Brock.
Okay, wrong guys.
Nope. But we'll see where this show goes. As of now, I've enjoyed it. So hopefully they can keep this train going. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
Well, that's our show. Brav Bros gotta go out of here. Bye.